All right. Hello and welcome. Thank you for logging on and attending this morning's exciting program. My name is Matt Schumann. I am on the programming team here at Cary Library. I'm also in the library. That's why I'm wearing my mask. Before we begin, please let me know if there are any technical issues that I can try to resolve. You can send those to me in the chat. Questions that you have for the chef can also be sent in the chat. This program is made possible by the generous donors to the Cary Library Foundation. I'd like to introduce now Sandhya Nadkarni. She teaches Indian and Indian fusion cooking in and around Lexington and via her website indfused.com, which I'll put in the chat so you can find that. She grew up in India and learned from her mother, a chef in her own right, who taught classes as well and published 2 cookbooks. We are looking forward to her expertise today and these delicious recipes. So please welcome Sandhya Nadkarni.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Sandhya. Welcome to my kitchen. Like Matt said, I grew up in India where my mother taught cooking classes and also published 2 cookbooks of her own. So, I always grew up around, fabulous food, delicious food. For me, I love everything about food. The history of food, the cross-cultural, influences to developing recipes, and of course, cooking and sharing meals with friends and family. So I feel blessed to be in this town, in this multicultural town, where we've lived for over 25 years now. And I'm lucky to have some great friends here because some of these friends were instrumental in me starting my cooking classes. I am part of a book club and art clubs where we did beading and sewing and crochet and jewelry making, but it was always tied to yummy food. At the end of these meetings, it would all culminate in yummy food that we shared together. So as you can imagine, some of these clubs morphed into a eating club, and we enjoyed all kinds of international foods. So some of these dear friends of mine are the ones who encouraged me to start cooking classes. And so I started teaching, and I've taught about 10 years ago, and I've taught at Lexington Community Ed, in libraries in this area, and also, at gourmet clubs in and around Lexington, around Massachusetts. And then I also teach at home. And more recently, it has been Zoom cook-alongs, which have been really fun because, at the end of it, everybody has a meal ready in their own home, by the end of the class. The other thing I do is I'm the author of a food blog called Infused, which stands for Indian and Indian Fusion Cooking. And I've been doing that for about 6 years now. And, I develop the recipes for that. I also do the food styling and the photography. And it's been a very rewarding experience for me because, the food blog has reached over, there are followers from around 150 different countries and has over 1 million views now. So whether I'm doing the cooking classes or the food blog, my focus has always been to use local foods or what is locally available. Also streamlining the recipes to make them easier. So it's easy for people in this, in everybody's busy lives, right? And also I try to make them healthier. All this, of course, without sacrificing the taste. So in short, it's basically the food that I feed my family. Okay. So today I wanted to focus on summer produce that's in season. So we'll do a cabbage subji with a cabbage. It's a vegetable side dish. Then with cucumbers and mint, we'll do a raita. and I'll do mango lassis, of course, that everybody loves. And then we'll do a peach and ginger lassi. Okay. So I also have a show and tell. I'm going to start with the spice dabba or spice box that you would see in an Indian kitchen. So Matt, I would like to, can I show this? Maybe I'll focus on this now. Okay, so this is known in most of the kitchens. You'll find this. This is called a masala dabba or a spice box, and these are the basic the spices that I use every day. Okay, in my cooking. And talking about the history, that I love to know the history. Most of the many parts of India, I should say, that Indian vegetarian cooking has its roots in Ayurveda. So Ayurveda is an ancient holistic science that believes in using foods, herbs, and spices for their nourishing and healing qualities and to prevent disease. And just like yoga, it's more than 5,000 years old. Basically, Ayur means life and Veda means science. So it's the science of living, roughly translated. Okay. And basically what it focuses on is, to me, it makes sense why certain spices are used with certain foods. Okay. And basically, most of these spices are antioxidants and anti-inflammatories. And so, that, and also Ayurveda focuses on how food tastes to have a good appetite, and also the power of digestion. So that's what that is all about. Okay. So these spices I'll show you when I'm doing the cabbage sabji. So usually in Indian cooking, there is a technique where it's called the tempering technique, where these spices are added to the hot oil. And what that does is it extracts the benefits of the spice, the volatile oils are drawn out, and the benefits of these spices are then distributed throughout the entire dish. So that's what tempering, and I'll show you what I mean when we do the cabbage sabji. Okay. So having said that, let me show you what I have in my in the spice box. So this is cumin, cumin seeds. This is the chili powder. So chili powder in Indian stores is available in mild, medium, or hot. And I usually, this one right here is the mild. So those are Kashmiri chilies. And to me, they are similar to paprika. I mean, as far as heat goes. Okay. And they have a beautiful color. Then this, of course, is what is now known as the superfood turmeric. So turmeric, this is the main culprit in staining clothes. So that's, but it's a really, it's said to be a powerful antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and also, anti-arthritic, and it's good for colds and coughs. So that's the, so turmeric has, as we all know, many different, health benefits. These are mustard seeds. And typically, I use the brown mustard seeds that are available in Indian stores. So these are the mustard seeds. This is coriander seeds. And coriander is, this is the seed that cilantro grows out of. So so these are also good for digestion. That's one of the reasons they are used, as well as, have antioxidants. And this in the center is Asafoetida. So Asafoetida is a natural gum, and it helps digest foods. It's extremely pungent. So usually in recipes, we would add like 1/8 of a teaspoon. Okay. And I'll show you what it, it comes when you buy it in the store, it either comes, there are yellow and white, little containers like this. There are also smaller ones, half the size of this one. Okay. So that's what that looks like. And of course, these are chilies that are ground into the, to make the chili powder. Okay, so today we are going to basically use, like 6 of these spices. Okay, so to begin with, we are going to make the, start with by making the cabbage subji. And so let me go over the ingredients for that. Okay, let me show you. So this one is the chana dal or yellow split peas. Okay, so what I have done is, and this is all in the recipe, you'll get this. What I have done is washed and rinsed it, of course, drained it, and then soaked it in hot water. Okay, for about half an hour before starting, and then drain the water. That just helps them cook faster. Okay, then this is basically oil that we're going to use. The mustard seeds. Okay, then we are going to use the Asafoetida. This is about 1/8 of a teaspoon here. Then turmeric, some chili powder. And you can feel free to reduce the amount or increase the amount. Then of course the cabbage, and then we are going to add a touch of brown sugar, okay, and lemon juice. So that's all that will go in this. So what I have done with the cabbage, let me show you what I have here. What I'm going to do is start to heat up the pan here while I show you. Okay, so while this is heating, so I got a cabbage that's about 4 pounds. When cut up, it's about 12 cups of cabbage is what I had, and this will end up after cooking to about 8 or 9 cups of the vegetable side dish. Okay, yeah.
There was a question. Sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
Is that a non-stick pan?
This is actually cast iron.
Okay.
Okay. It's the enamel cast iron. Yeah. So, so let me show you, like the cabbage, what I do is I trim it. And Matt, if you could switch to this view for a minute. So, okay. So the cabbage, I've trimmed it and I've cut it into 4s. And so, basically I'm just going to shred this real quick. And the reason I do it into 4s is it holds onto the core, so it's not all falling apart. So, and I cut the 3/4 in advance, so that way we have just 1/4 to go through. Any questions? Okay. Oops. So basically, I'm just shredding, like this cabbage, not too thin, because we want the yellow split peas, the chana dal, and the cabbage to cook around the same time. Okay. Okay. There we go.
There's a question, where do you buy your spices? And do you have a favorite Indian grocery store in the area?
Actually, I don't have a favorite, but what I do is there are about 4 or 5 in Burlington along Route 3A. So that's one place, one area. And then the other is there are a few on Moody Street. So that's where I buy my spices. Okay, so now the pan is hot. So this is the tempering technique I was talking about. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, okay, we'll focus on the pan again, Matt. So I've added my oil. Okay, and now when the oil is hot, I'm going to add the mustard seeds and the Asafoetida. Okay. And when they start to sputter, I'm turning the heat down now. When it starts to sputter is when I'm going to add this. Now I'm turning the heat really low because I don't want the turmeric and the chili powder to burn. So once it starts sputtering is when I'm going to add the cabbage. There's plenty of cabbage here. So like I said, that's about 12 cups of the cabbage.
Sandhya,
Yes.
it looks like your second camera has frozen.
Oh.
But I can just do the first camera. That's what I've spotlit now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Is that good now, Matt?
I don't see you. You have to rejoin, I think.
Okay.
I'll rejoin.
Okay. Rejoin on. Okay. Nikita, can you help me? Okay, I'll do that in a minute, Matt.
Sorry for the interruption.
That's okay. Nikita's helping. Did you rejoin? No. Oh, okay. So maybe her camera this way, right? You can see me on this camera, right?
Yep.
Okay, great. So basically, I'm just stirring it around so the spices get mixed. Okay, and it's a lot of cabbage which will cook down. Since I think this week everybody's getting cabbages in CSA or whatever, this would be a good recipe to make. That's why I thought of that. Okay, so now that I have stirred this, I'm going to add the soaked chana dal or the yellow split peas. Also, yeah, if you want, the other variation would be if you have fresh peas that are in season, you could add fresh peas instead of the yellow split peas. So basically, the idea for adding the yellow split peas is that it adds a bit of protein in the dish, but also gives a little more texture to the dish. So I have about 4 teaspoons of water. That's all that I'm adding in here, and some salt. So salt to taste. Let me see. This is half a teaspoon. Okay. Some salt and a teaspoon of brown sugar, just to balance the taste. Okay. And I'm going to stir this around and cover it and cook it for about 8 to 10 minutes, depending on how soft. I don't like my vegetables too mushy. So, the 8 to 10 minutes is just so that the chana dal, or whether you're using peas or split peas, yellow split peas, just for that to cook. And of course the cabbage will soften and cook, but it won't be mushy. So, okay, I'm going to cover this and let it cook on low for about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, straggle it. Okay. Meanwhile, what we'll do is we'll move on to the next dish, which is a cucumber raita. So after this is cooked for about 8 to 10 minutes, all I'll do is add lime, like half, juice of half a lime, and then this is done. So this particular cabbage sabji, you can make ahead of time, and it stays in the refrigerator for about 2 to 3 days. It should be good. Then the other thing is also, it can, and of course it can be reheated then. Okay, in the summertime, I would serve it at room temperature, but fall and winter, I can heat it, reheat it. So, and I mean, it can be warmed up. And of course, it tastes good right out of the pan as soon as it cooks. So as you can see, this is, of course, a vegetarian, but also gluten-free and vegan side dish. And I'll show you, I mean, it goes along with so many other things, but I'll also show you how I serve it later on. Okay. Moving on. Okay, so I'm going to get the next set of things, the raita here. I'll show you the ingredients for that. Okay. So raita is basically a salad dish, and like I said, we are going to use cucumbers and yogurt for this one. So I'm going to start with a cup of yogurt. Whether it's, I make my own yogurt at home. So even if it is like, I make mine out of 1% milk. So 1%, or whatever you like, is fine for that one. Then we are going to use, this is roasted cumin seed powder. Okay, so the same cumin seeds that we saw, I toast them lightly in a dry skillet, and I powder them. So I do about a cup at a time because I use it so often. But also, you can buy it in the store as well, ready-made. This is the coriander seed powder. And of course the proportions are in the recipe. This is half a teaspoon. This is a teaspoon of that. I'm going to add some sugar to it. Only, if the yogurt is tangy, you would need to adjust it. If you don't, it's an optional thing. Then a tiny pinch of the pepper again, the cayenne pepper. It's good for circulation. And mint leaves from the garden and salt. Okay, so, and of course the cucumber, which I use, let me get that. I used an English cucumber today, but you could use, if you have cucumbers in your backyard, whatever. I did, let me show you. I did peel and chop the cucumber, but if it's, if the skin is thin, and it's totally your preference too. If you like it with the skin on, just chop it into bite-sized pieces. That's all I've done. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take I can move this down. So the line needs to be done later. Okay. So what I'm doing is I have the cup of yogurt here. I'm adding the spices, like the cumin seed powder, the coriander.
Sorry, there was just a quick question about cucumber. Do you de-seed them?
For the English cucumber, I don't. Again, that's personal choice. I don't like, if the seeds are too big, I would de-seed it. Okay. Then this is this sugar. And like I said, it's optional, depends on if the yogurt is tangy, and the chili powder. And now all I'm going to do with the mint leaves is basically roll them up. I have about 8 to 10 mint leaves here. So I'm just going to roll them up and, cut them into ribbons, the chiffonade, style. Oops, you can see it. I'll move this out of the way. You can see it. Okay, so that's all I have done with the mint. And I'm going to add that to the yogurt. Bring that back. And let me get rid of this. I don't need this right now. So, and I'm going to whisk it together. Okay. I haven't added the salt, so tiny bit of salt. And I'm going to whisk it. Just to combine it, that's all. So, and then I would, all I'm going to do is add the cucumber pieces in it and coat them with this yogurt mixture. Okay. For make ahead tip, what I would do is I would keep them separate, the cucumber and the yogurt mixture. I would whisk the yogurt mixture, keep it all ready, but I would add the cucumbers just before serving, because if not, the raita can get watery, right? So that's the only reason. So this is a salad. Raita is like, the salad that goes on the side. And I'm going to check on the cabbage. So this is all done. The raita is all done. I'm going to check on the cabbage real quick. I think, I'm going to turn this. Is that on? Yeah. Matt, this camera is back on if we want to try this one. I think the phone overheated. That's what happened.
Yep, we got you back now.
Phone overheated with all that cabbage going in.
I think it's so hot today also.
It's hot today too, because this hasn't happened before.
I blasted the AC.
So
I just turned on the AC.
Okay. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, the water, if there is water, left in the pan, I would just turn the heat to high and let that water evaporate. No, I should get all of this turning. There we go. So the way I check is just to make sure this is cooked, which it is. It breaks into 2 pieces very easily. So cabbage subji is done. Okay, so you can see how easy it is to make it. What I want to show you now is how I would serve this, right? In a typical Indian meal, meaning not typical, I should say, because India has, all the states have different cuisines and different, different cultures, dresses, languages, but this is how I would serve my family. So I'm going to get that real quick and show you. So a simple Indian meal would be, let me add the cabbage subji here. Okay, so that is trying to make it a little neater. And this is the raita. A little more of that. Okay, so this is how, a simple vegetarian meal in my home would be. So this is the chapati or the whole wheat Indian bread. And this can be either homemade or also store-bought. Then a little bit of the rice, I shouldn't say a little bit, the rice. And this is the dal. Dal is the main source of vegetable protein in the Indian vegetarian diet. So that's the dal that's made out of pigeon peas, really. And then, of course, our cabbage subji and the raita. So this would be a complete whole meal, okay?
There's a question. Where did you get your stainless steel serving dishes?
These are from India. So every time. But there are a few stores, I think on Moody Street, that do have some of them. They do have some of them. So, okay. You know what I forgot was to add my lime to the, so it's basically just juice of half a lime, that, just to balance the taste. And I would give it a, quick, heat it once quick, just because it's so hot, and just assimilate that flavor in. Okay. When I saw half a lime lying there, I said, oh, this was supposed to go in here. Okay. So that's the cabbage subji. Any questions before we move on to the lassis? I'm going to make some room here, and we can get our lassis going. So I'm going to start with okay, I can do it here now, Matt, on this.
Yep, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So let me show you the ingredients for the mango lassi. I'll grab them here. You mute it when the, right? Yeah. You'll mute it when I'm blending, maybe later. So let's see. Okay, so mango lassi is, so talking about lassis, okay? Lassi in India originated about, the date is 1000 BC. And it's from the northern region of Punjab is where it originated. And so, the best way to describe lassi is it's the ancestor of smoothies. There are two kinds of lassis. One is the what is known as the salty lassi, which is a digestive, and it will be, it'll have, of course, the yogurt and water is main, but then that's blended, but then it'll have mint, cumin seed powder, so everything that helps the foods digest is in that, and that's used as a digestive. And the other one that's like very famous is the mango lassi. So for mango lassi, of course, right now, these are the Kent mangoes that are in season. And I love these. But if you are looking for that, and as far as mango lassi goes, you can use, one of these mangoes or the Atulfo mangoes and whichever yogurt you like. But if you are looking for that signature flavor that you like in either Indian restaurants or Indian stores with the mango lassi, the key to that is the right yogurt. And so I do and the right mango pulp. So I do make my own yogurt, but the other one that I use is this. This is from Costco. Can you see it? So this is called Naga Dahi. So Dahi basically in the Indian language means yogurt. So I use that. And for the mango, there is, I usually like another brand called Ratna, Ratna, which has Alfonso mangoes in it. And those are like, in India, mango is like the king of fruit. And so those are the mangoes that I particularly like, but I couldn't find that. So I got another one called, Ara. There is another one called Deep, DEEP. So, but this is a sweetened mango pulp. Okay. And what it does is it has the concentrated flavor that, so you will, you'll taste it more in the lassi. Okay.
So there were a few questions that came in. One is the digestive lassi typically had after a meal?
Yeah, generally to digest foods. Yeah. or, or if for a light meal or something, if, one of those days you want to eat lighter, then that would be it. Yeah.
And where can you get that type of mango?
Oh, this one, actually it's available at farmers markets now. It's called the Kent brand. Kent, I mean type. It's just that it's, it's just as sweet as the others. It doesn't have as much, it's not very fibrous. And, it's also easy to peel. Like even with a vegetable peeler, I could peel it. So, any other questions? Okay.
There was one, I don't know why I can't remember, because I know you showed the dal, but did you end up showing how to make it?
No. I had the dal here already. I just showed these two. Dal,
Okay.
yeah, dal, especially the pigeon peas take longer to cook. But if somebody wants to make it, they can use the red lentils also. Those cook faster. Okay.
Thank you.
So let me, to go over the ingredients for the mango lassi, I'm going to use a cup of the yogurt. So let me just start putting that in here. Okay, so this is a cup of yogurt. And then this is half a cup of the canned mango pulp. And this is sweetened, okay? But again, now depending on how tangy the yogurt is, I add a little bit of sugar to it. I think it's a tablespoon of sugar. And then just want to make sure I get all my mango in there. And then a half a cup of cold water and half a cup of ice. So I'm going to grab that real quick. So this is my this is half a cup of the water, cold water. Cool water is what I use, and half a cup of the ice. Okay, and that's about it. Basically, a pinch of salt is what I add to bring out the flavor. So just a tiny pinch, and I'm going to blend it. And Nikita, can we mute it because it's going to make a big noise? So I'm going to mute the audio for just a few seconds while I blend this. Okay, so I'm just going to pour this into a glass to show you. So there's our lassi, just so that you can see what it looks like. Okay, so very easy to do, very quick. Lassis are very cooling in the summer, and that's the reason they were made. So we're going to move on to, any questions, Matt?
Yes, there was a question about how do you make your homemade yogurt?
So homemade yogurt, you can use whatever milk you want, like whether it's 2%, 1%, or whole milk. So I basically, put it in I boil it in the microwave, the oil, the milk, sorry, the milk. And I use 1% of milk, and then you need a yogurt culture. So when I make the yogurt, I save, about 2 tablespoons of the yogurt culture. So if I, and let me show you, like So this is how I make my yogurt in my Boston bean pot. So this is my homemade yogurt. Okay. So what I do is I use a measuring, like a big 4 cup or 8 cup measuring cup. And then, I boil the milk, let it cool to about, I would say, lukewarm, temperature. So I would say about 104, 106 if you are checking the temperature, and then add the yogurt culture and just stir it in and leave it aside. Now in the summertime, the yogurt's done in about 7 hours, and I don't do it every day. I just do it for the week. So that way it's easier for me. Okay, I'm going to quickly show you.
Oh, there was one more question about just clarification.
Yeah.
With the mango, did you, or maybe you're about to show it, but there were just people asking if you used both canned and the fresh mango.
No, I just used the canned one just now. But fresh can be used. Just fresh also can be used. I just use the can to show you because, if you are looking for that particular lassi bottles at the Indian stores, if that's the taste you're craving, then it is the, it's the canned mango and that particular.
Sandhya, you froze that whole thing, I think. Could you repeat everything that you said?
Sure. For this
Sorry.
recipe, no, sorry about that, Matt. So for this recipe, I basically used the canned mango pulp, half a cup to a cup of yogurt. So what I said was, if you are craving that particular mango lassi taste that you've had either at a restaurant or the bottles available at the Indian store, then this is the taste you're looking for. But you can certainly use the mangoes, the fresh mangoes with I would use maybe a whole mango, because that has concentrated flavor and it's also sweetened. So I would use, say, about a cup of mango chunks to same thing, the cup of yogurt, and the sugar will have to be adjusted depending on how sweet the mango is. Okay, is that good?
Someone asked, what about using frozen mango? And if there's another fruit that also works well for lassi?
We are going to do another fruit. We are going to do peaches, which are in season too. So the first part of the question, the frozen mango, yes, I have used frozen mango chunks that are available at Trader Joe's. But the taste is slightly different. Like I said, if it is this particular taste, then, it's the canned mango pulp, which is sweetened, but also concentrated, is what gives it that flavor. Okay. So, but I have used mango chunks in smoothies and other things. So yeah, that's good too. And it's much more convenient. So, okay, for the peach lassi, what we are going to do is, we are going to, I've got 2 peaches that I basically pitted, and so it's either 2 large or 3 medium peaches. So this is, a recipe I developed because, this is, peaches are in season, and peaches pair, in my mind, they pair so well with ginger. So this is fresh ginger. The way to, if you're shopping for ginger, I look for something it has to be firm, ginger actually can be peeled very, very easily with the back of a spoon. So, I would just peel the skin, and we are using just half an inch of ginger. Okay, so this is the peeled ginger root that I'm using. The other thing, so ginger is one of those other foods, right? It is an antioxidant and an anti-inflammatory. It also helps with congestion. This is all according to Ayurveda. Okay, so it's said to help, I should say, with congestion, and Ayurveda happens to be my hobby. I'm no way proficient or in that, but this is what, like I said, this is what I feed my family. And then it pairs well with honey. So that's the reason I'm using honey. Also ginger is used for digestion and also to whet the appetite. So it's also is used to whet the appetite, and also for digestion. So many good things about ginger, right? And so I'm going to use, so again, we are going to blend, I'm going to put in the peaches, a cup of yogurt again. So all these peaches will go in. Maybe I should use the bigger jar. Sorry about that. Peaches are huge. I'm going to use the bigger jar for this. So tilt this so you can see it. So the peaches and the ginger, ½ inch of ginger in here, and the honey. So it's a teaspoon of honey. Again, you could use sugar if you want. Ginger and honey go well together in, that's the reason I thought of it. It's also, if, growing up, if we had a itchy throat or something, this is what we would get, honey and ginger. So that's why I think, that's how I think. This is something like our mothers and grandmothers used all along as home remedies. So that's what I think of. And it's again a cup of yogurt. And the lassi as well as thing would serve about 2 big glasses, okay? This is ½ a cup of the water and the ice cubes. Again, ½ a cup of the ice cubes, okay? And to this too, I add a pinch of salt, okay? Just to draw out the flavors. That's optional, but I think it brings out the flavor. So I'm going to get this out. Nikita, can we, oh, that's okay. Okay, bear with me with this. With this for a minute. It's going to make. So my peach lassi is ready. Let me show you what that looks like.
There was a question, were the peaches peeled?
I did not peel the peaches, but because, this, my Vitamix blender really makes, there is no peel left when it blends it. But you could peel it if you wanted to, if that's what you prefer. I just thought I'll leave them in for added fiber. So that's the reason I didn't peel them. But this is what the peach lassi looks like. Okay. So, and this, the flavor, I love the flavor of this one because with the ginger and the fresh peaches, this is something that, we love in our home. So, any other questions? So we're done with our cabbage subji and the raita and the 2 lassis. So, any other? If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
And you can type those in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself and ask directly.
And I'll send out the recipes to you, Matt. And,
for Bikram Yoga, Burlington asked about the digestive lassi recipe, but that will be sent out to everybody.
Yes, I can send it out too. Yeah,
yeah,
I can definitely send that out too. Yeah.
Both
these lassis as well as the digestive will be sent out. Yeah.
It looks like a lot of questions are coming in. Is there a way online to order some of these spices or other foods?
Online, well, I have not personally done that. No, I usually, but what you could do is, you call them, and some of the stores do have the contactless delivery where, you can order them ahead of time, and then they will just put it in your car trunk. So that I know, some in Burlington, the store have been doing that.
Someone asked, what vegetables did you use to make? But I'm not sure what they mean. I think that they came in late. So all the recipes will be sent out to everybody in case if you came in late.
Yeah, I'll send them out to you, Matt, so you can.
Yep.
And thank you, Matt and Nina, for for having this wonderful community of enthusiastic cooks. I've really enjoyed part of it, and for everybody who joined in today, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming, and thank you everyone for attending.
Thank you.